All right, let's move on to the next game now, shall we? Portland up against the KC Current. Ooh, let's see if the KC Current can pick up where they left off last season. Who knows? 51st minute, though. Sophia Wilson, in her first start since returning from maternity leave, she draws a foul in the penalty area, and the ref says pen.
Yeah, I mean, Elizabeth Ball with the giveaway here, you know, it's got to be better there, and obviously they paid for it.
53rd minute, well, goal. Olivia Moultrie there with that one, burying it. 63rd minute now, Raylyn Turner, she's going to score a header right here from the center of the box. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't. Johnson and Ball really struggled in this game for me. That center back pairing, which is why you probably saw Sharples having to come into the game. But Turner, I mean, well done. She did what she needed to do here to affect the ball, and she scored the goal.
All right, well, Portland get that win. And as for the Current, ooh, so much for picking up where you left off. Indeed, they've lost now 3 in a row after their first win over Utah in the opening weekend. Let's hear from Chris Armas on what is going wrong.
Look, there's been some different things along this stretch. There's been some set pieces. There's been some crosses. Today there's a penalty. There's a long ball that to get down the second goal. Listen, a team is more confident when you're winning, when you're scoring. A team can gain confidence, but we're going to get going, right? We knew it was going to be a tough stretch. We played the home game. We win that one. We come on the road. 2 of them are home openers for the opposition, Chicago and Seattle, and then it's always tough playing in Portland. No one ever thought this would be an easy road stretch on short rest, players coming back from injury, and this is just part of it. So it's all of it combined. We're going to get players to the proper fitness level, like coming off some of the injuries. We can keep pushing the minutes for Cooper and Lowe. They were on restricted minutes, and we're going to keep going. We're trying to build this house in a hurricane in some way, which we're trying to build, and and the games came fast and furious, and it is difficult. So listen, not pointing a finger at any one thing. There's oftentimes a lot of little things that can add to it. So we're excited to get back home. We're disappointed to not get any points on the road. We'll learn from it, and we'll be better for it.
All right. Well, I have to ask, calm or alarm on what we're seeing from the KC Current, because as Chris Armas just said, they're trying to build a house in a hurricane. And as someone from Jamaica who has lived through many a hurricane, let me tell you, that is not easy. So calm or alarm, Ali?
I think for me, it's a bit of an alarm. I understand that, Temwa isn't back yet. They lost Claire Hutton, and they've lost Bia up top. And, there've been a few adjustments and changes within the player personnel. Haley Mace has left for Orlando. So they have changes, but you've also added a Croy Bethune, who's such an incredible addition to any team. And any team would love to have her in that midfield. And she's been the connector there. But I do think it's a bit of an alarm. With the quality of players that you have, I just think that they should have had a better start. And no matter if you're on the road or not, every game is different. And every team has to play on that day. And no other team really made any excuses. And you look at Portland, yes, it's difficult to play there, but they also have a young, talented squad with a brand new coach who just come 3 weeks ago. So there's really no excuse for me in that department. And I think it goes to show you also just the inconsistency of the back line and the lineup has been, really surprising to me. Michelle Cooper, you see, has gotten more minutes. So yeah, there are a few injuries, but despite the fact that they have a few injuries, they have one of the, most depth squads in the entire league. So Jeff, I don't know how you also feel about this, and if you're on my team,
Jeff's usually calm.
Alarm bells.
But
no, I think more. You're saying a bit of an alarm. I think it's an alarm. I mean, I don't have any sort of hedging of that. It is, I said before the season started that there was no way they were going to replicate last year.
Yeah.
But this is worse of a start for sure than I thought was going to happen, and it is. I mean, we heard Chris Armas say it is a little bit of everything. I agree with that. It's Temwa Chawinga missing. It's the defending, which honestly is most of the same personnel. Alana Cook not there from the injury last year, but the personnel hasn't changed a lot. It's the defensive set pieces. Yes, they went on the road, and I know 3 road games in a week, but respectfully, they lose pretty convincingly, I would say, in Chicago to a Chicago team that has not been competitive in any other game they've played this season. And the biggest thing for me when I watch that midweek Seattle game especially is the shape of this team and the lack of urgency, where I said last week, the Claire Hutton hole that is in that midfield, the gap from the defensive line on this team to the midfield, especially in that Seattle game, is enormous. And teams have just played through it. Seattle with a combination of out, in, out, like a training ground passing sequence that they executed several times for several goals, probably should have been up 4-0 at halftime. I think when you look at that, it's very concerning from a midfield shape perspective, it just across the board. And I think this is as important of an April game as I can think of that I've ever seen in league history for Kansas City at home against Gotham with the stretch that they've had.
Well, Chris Armas said that it's a lot of little things that, of course, you have to just get right, Jeff. But how much of it comes down to him, of course, a new coach in this field right now, too? What are you hearing about how much of a hot seat he might be in?
Well, I don't know how hot that seat is. I mean,
come on, Jeff, give us some press room goss.
But I mean, look, I think there's definitely pressure when you talk about a team that has said explicitly from ownership on down, we want to be the best team in the world, and they want to measure that by getting to the Club World Cup. They have to go win CONCACAF this year. This team doesn't look like a team that's going to get out of the group in CONCACAF right now. So there's a lot ahead. There's a lot of time ahead. I understand it's 4 games in, but I think there's a lot that needs to be done. So, you can't, that's the standard, right? I mean, 5 months ago, we were saying, is this the best team in league history? Yeah. And yes, there's been some injuries, there's been personnel changes, but the gap from what we were saying and seeing there to what we're seeing now is too big right now.